Welcome everyone back to another episode of Macro Crypto, where we talk about anything and everything involving the crypto space. And today we are going to be diving into the Crypto Bowl, or technically the advertisements and commercials that happened during the Super Bowl yesterday, how that's going to affect the crypto space for 2022 and beyond. Also going to hit on the Fed hike rates that are expected later this year and what you can expect with the crypto markets and how they are going to react off those Fed hike rates. And then, of course, put a cherry on top of this video, going to wrap it up with our DCA talk into Bitcoin and other smart contract plays. If you do enjoy the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, head over to our Twitter page at Macro Crypto Club and give us a follow. Like always, link will be down in the description, everyone. Let's go ahead, dive into our content, starting off our Mondays, like always, with our weekly Heikin Ashi Candles, removing the noise, looking at the charts from the beginning to where we're at now. Remember, in a macro view, we're always moving in the right direction, and that's up. We're trending up in a macro view, so just keep that in perspective over time. That's what we want to see. That's why we DCA, dollar cost average, into the market. We are trying to get a position for the future and creating more financial freedom and wealth in your portfolio. So as we zoom in on the Bitcoin charts for the weekly Heikin Ashi Candles, it tells quite a different story. Of course, it's not so bullish within this past year, of course, because we've had the ups and downs all the way through with the past year. Finally, though, within the last 3 weeks, we've gotten some green. How this is going to affect us moving forward in the short term, nobody knows, but we got to stay positive here. We want to see this weekly candle grow as the week progresses along. Hopefully get a larger wick above for a higher high. Just my opinion, we're going to get there on a weekly basis. We're going to continue getting some green here on a weekly, get that snowball rolling, collecting us, getting for higher highs along the way, and see what this future brings for 2022. I'm excited, but enough about our Bitcoin talk. Let's go ahead and dive into a Jon Stewart interview with the former Federal Reserve President and CEO. I'll let you take a listen.
How much currency that has been sort of created out of thin air has been added into this economy through the Fed? What would you put as a figure? Would it be 6 trillion? Is that too much?
It would be, 6 trillion in terms of deposits with the banks and currency. Be 6 to 7 trillion.
Okay. That they're just injecting into it sort of out of nothing.
Out of nothing. They're the central bank of the United States. Now, think about it. It's just another form of government debt. Am I making sense?
It makes sense in the make-believe world of Conjuring. Like, there is a certain part of this that all feels like a mirage to some extent. Do you know what I mean? It all seems sort of fake.
Well, it's a fiduciary system. It's all faith-based. Right?
Oh, my Lord.
Yes, you got to have confidence in that currency, in that dollar, because there's nothing backing. There's no gold backing.
So it's in some ways, it's a mass delusion.
Well.
So there you hear it from the former president of the Federal Reserve and CEO. It's a fugazi. Fake. It's a mirage. It's fairy dust, make believe. It's only what, everyone wants to put that, fiat is backed by the government. That's why they have faith in it. I just believe that over time, we're starting to see that diminish, and that faith diminish within the Federal Reserve and the central banking system is only more of a bullish signal for Bitcoin, because there is no central entity controlling it. And you cannot create Bitcoin out of thin air. You know exactly the amount of Bitcoin that's going to be created on every single given block that is created. And then you know when it's going to be the exact date that it's going to have again and again and again until you can no longer mint Bitcoin ever again in 2140. Long time off, but you know exactly how that's progressing, the exact amount of Bitcoin. You're not guessing what the inflation is or how much money is being printed into the market. And it's just crazy that they're able to print $6 trillion, put it into the banking system. And I didn't see that type of money get put into my account. I don't know, did you? So just a kind of a crazy viewpoint that Jon Stewart got for us from a former president of the Fed. Now let's go ahead, dive into our crypto bull news. What we want to look at, there's so many people comparing what happened this crypto or this Super Bowl with a previous Super Bowl back in 2000, which was labeled the .com bull because of how many commercials were involved with that Super Bowl. Now, I don't agree with this opinion simply because the amount of commercials that were in that Super Bowl, as you can see right here, was about 17 websites took part in that. Some people say that could be 14, or depending on what you viewed as a .com commercial, but I'm going to go with 17. And of those 17, there's not a lot of familiar names. You got E-Trade. You will also notice that pets.com, we have computer.com, Auto Trader, which is still around. A lot of these companies either collapsed or got bought out. But the one that's very interesting from that time period in 2000 was, if you notice, MicroStrategy. And if you have anything that you know anything about MicroStrategy, actually was founded in 1989 by Michael Saylor. Yeah, the Michael Saylor that is the biggest Bitcoin bull of them all. Had a, ironically in 2000, had a MicroStrategy commercial during that Super Bowl, especially the .com era. Now, what I do want to kind of bring full circle here, and what we're trying to give you a little story on, is for this year, 2022 Super Bowl, we only saw the huge exchanges having the commercials, which was FTX, eToro, Crypto.com, and Coinbase. If you were in Canada, I think BitBuy also had a commercial in there. And then if surrounding the commercials, Binance was making a play to try to downplay anyone going for Super Bowl commercials to bring attention, which was the irony of that was beyond me, that they were using celebrities to tell you to do your own research, to not trust celebrities, because that's their thinking that these other companies would use to tell you to visit their sites, but they were doing it. It was wild. But regardless, what this reminds me of is the 2022 is not the crypto bull in my mind, because we only saw the exchanges giving you a little influence on where you can buy crypto. And that was 4 commercials max within the United States. And what that reminds me a little bit more of is the 1999 Super Bowl, where we saw, I went back, checked out the commercials. I came up with 4. It could be 5, but the commercials were from Yahoo, talking about searching a guy that didn't have any hair, searching for hair, and came out with an afro, and basically, do you Yahoo, which eventually turned into do you Google. Kind of the ironic with that as well. And also other commercials from 1999 were monsters.com, buy.com, and hotjobs.com. Also with competing with Monsters, of course. Buy.com, of course, competed with Amazon, which we all know who won that battle. But those were 4 commercials that started before the big revolution of commercials and advertisements within the Super Bowl, within the .com space itself. So my prediction, not saying I'm going to be right or wrong, not saying history has to repeat itself, because we have no idea what's going to happen. But moving forward, what we can expect is that with this year was the introduction to the crypto space. And if the crypto market continues on its trend that we all think it's going to have this year for a very bullish year, it is 2023 Super Bowl could see a huge boom in crypto commercials, whether that's also about the NFT space, DeFi, specific cryptocurrencies. I don't think we'll ever see a Bitcoin commercial because we don't need it, but I do see things that are more centralized having commercials potentially. I'm looking at you, Solana. No one trusts you. So that's my take on it. Is I think this is more like the 1999 Super Bowl, and it's not the crypto bowl that everyone's pushing for. And we're going to have, because the reason why we also bring this up full circle is in 2000 was the .com bubble. It crashed. The market had the biggest crash it has had in, I think it was like 15, 20 years, potentially maybe only 13 from 1987. But regardless, it had a huge crash right after that Super Bowl. and there was 17 commercials within that Super Bowl. So there's a lot of people on the internet given today and yesterday talking about, is that going to happen with the crypto space? In my opinion, no. It's more like this was the 1999. That's building up for what's to come this year. And if that plays out, we could see that happen for 2023. And that's where the crypto bear market will begin. Just a prediction. Doesn't need to play out. Just because it's happened in the in the past doesn't mean the future. We're just taking things that have happened in the past, using that for us to make a better judgment for our plays for the future. So just my 2 cents on that. Let's go ahead, dive into what we found out through the Fed. They had a secret meeting today, not so secret meeting, but basically no one knows what was discussed within that meeting. The Federal Reserve officials do call for a measured response to inflation. If you haven't noticed, that this weekend there was a 7.5% inflation number from 2021. Massive. Usually trying to hit around 2% on a yearly basis. 7.5% is a huge increase. I didn't get that type of increase for my income. If everything else is increasing with inflation, that's hurting me. It's probably hurting you. You're probably seeing that also in different parts of the world as well, whether you use the US dollar or not. So central banks have panned the idea that it will raise rates between meetings, nor have they settled a big rate increase. So they're expecting that there's a chance that they're going to do a double rate hike maybe in March on their next meeting and come out and say that. What you want to be aware of is that this has now already been priced into the market. We're in the market that we're currently in because of that, okay? So how that's going to affect is more on give you a little bit of idea when rate hikes have happened before and how things have progressed and how long it really takes. Back in 2004, that's where we first started seeing some rate hikes happen within the Fed. I'll throw this link also in description so you can verify for yourself on this website. And then also it's thebalance.com. And then 2005, we continue to see those rate hikes happen and well into 2006 as well. And they started doing this because of the higher rates caused by mortgage defaults. If you understand that by 2008 was when we had the financial crash because of the housing market within the United States, which affected the entire world, of course. So that was one thing where we started seeing rate hikes happen, and it took from 2004 to 2008 until we really saw, a market crash, given 4 years there. Now, also wanted to discuss how this also has played out in the crypto market before. We started seeing a slight rate hike, a lot different discussion, of course, from 2005 and then 2016 we saw the rate hikes, and then we saw 3 different rate hikes within 2017, which, if I remind everybody, we had a huge year within crypto in 2017, which then extended in 2018. But the crypto market, of course, tanked and crashed in that January of 2018. But those rate hikes started earlier. We have yet to start the rate hikes this year yet. So in my opinion, we have time. We're not going to see this huge crash along with these rate hikes right away. Now, how that plays out, that's just a prediction. Remember, nothing that we discuss in this video whatsoever is financial advice. It is entirely opinion based, and it's here for pure entertainment purposes only. Okay? So now finishing up our discussion on our weekly DCA talk, of course, dollar cost and averaging into the king of crypto, Bitcoin, giving you our $100 price into on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, everyone. And we are giving you our number of Satoshis, very along the same lines on a week-to-week basis, just getting at different price points. Current price of Bitcoin is just over 42,000. And of course, we didn't add anything on the monthly because we already do that on the first DCA of the month. Already put $400 in. So right now we are working our way, catching the 800 total monthly. We're at 600 on our weekly. And currently, as you can tell, this number, of course, is a smaller value because we have less money. But our monthly right now, we do have a loss of $15.46, and we have a profit with our weekly at $21.98. So it's just going to be very key to see how that progresses along the way. Do want to hit on the total Satoshis. Remember, Satoshis is the smallest unit of Bitcoin. We're trying to stack as many Satoshis as we can, and we're over 1 million Satoshis total in both our weekly and monthly. So, and we're only almost 2 months into this. We're going to be well over 2 million very shortly. So join us on stacking Satoshis along the way. So diving into our smart contract plays, we haven't added Cosmos and Binance Smart Chain yet, but we will for you in our future videos. We'll have it done by next week, guaranteed. But talking about our ETH, DOT, ADA, Tron, Solana, Luna, and Avalanche, added our $100 into each of those plays this week. I do want to give you a little update of where we're sitting at. Ethereum, Tron, and Avalanche are our only profitable investments currently through DCA. Polkadot, Cardano, Solana, and Luna are just getting shellacked right now. And of course, in my mind, Ethereum is the king, or the prince, I should say, of crypto, but the king of smart contracts. And we do have a play with Polkadot as well. Polkadot is my play when we're talking about the rest of the smart contract plays. Ethereum itself is so far beyond any of these, in my opinion. I don't even put them in the same character or in the same class anymore. All these others are fighting for a market share that Ethereum dominates. So you might be able to pull some of the market share away from Ethereum, but you're not going to overtake it, at least anytime soon, especially with the newer projects. But as we go along, you know how I feel about Cardano. Not a fan, definitely not a fan of Tron. Worst case scenario, we're just using it for you to watch over time, and surprise, surprise, it's the second best performer with these 6 weeks currently. But I do love Avalanche. Don't have a position in it, but I do love Avalanche, and I could see myself getting into that down the line. So just wanted to give you guys an update with our DCA talk. I hope you enjoyed the content. Remember, just like the video, helps me judge how this what I should bring to this specific series on every given Monday, wrapping up the weekend. Hope everyone has a great Valentine's Day. Till next time, everybody. Peace.